the place. This looks like one of the one of the smaller air tankers right here that probably dropped some of that fire retardant that I showed you earlier here near the top. And yeah, you know, definitely roads do act as a great fire break. But when you're talking about a fire that's this intense, when it's also fueled by winds, and you talk about those embers, and we'll see how many of these homes. I would have to imagine that a lot of them have some, you know, kind of fireproof roofs or something that could prevent, you know, embers from getting under the eaves and starting some of those fires. Like I'm just thinking of the Woolsey fire, how so many homes burned because of that, because they didn't have any fireproofing. And you know, we're talking about brush clearance, and I mean, you could see a lot of brush right up against a lot of these homes right now. And my understanding was that brush is supposed to be cleared from homes by June 1st, but obviously, you know, we're only in May, so maybe as the summers get longer and hotter, that may be, you know, something that has to be reevaluated. Yeah, absolutely. Just voracious flames here as they chew through all of this brush. And, you know, here's some folks right down here. I see, I'm not sure what these, this is very, very dangerous. All these people that are, yeah, but I mean, look how close the flames are getting. I don't think people realize how fast this changes. I mean, look at these people, if they're getting photographs or what this is, but if they don't move soon, if the wind changes direction or something, they could have flames going right over the top of them. I just feel like these folks down here are acting awfully casual with this situation. Flames within, you know, 50 or 100 feet, and you're talking about a very hot fire that can basically start other little spot fires as well. So we're going to have to see if any other little fires pop up in this area as embers carry them along. This is, I can't remember ever covering a fire in the Laguna Beach area, so I'm thinking that this brush has not burned for a very, very long time. And look at just in the last minute how close the flames have gotten to this home right here on Vista Montemar Drive. Yeah, yeah, I do not, but look at, I mean, it just in the last minute, the fire has moved probably 50 to 100 feet. You can see the trees blowing down there. You see them kind of blowing to the left into the direction of this neighborhood. This is Vista Montemar is the street that we're talking about here, high in the hills of Laguna Niguel. And we're just going to have to see what happens as we peer through the smoke, but horrible, horrible situation up here. Watch the skid. Right. Okay. I don't know. It just doesn't look good. I think the box looks better. Yes. Juan, hi. Sorry about that. So yeah. Well, I just, some of these homes here, I mean, look like they may be getting overwhelmed. Obviously, we can't see all the way through the smoke, but we saw, looks like fire spread to one of the front yards right now. And this is, what we hate. It's kind of what's going on underneath this smoke. But we saw how close those flames were to all of the homes there. Vista Montemar, Vista Court is the area that we're talking about. And I just was looking over here at this community because basically it's kind of been cut off from one of the escape routes. This Aliso Summit Trail, this area in here looks to be a gated community, and one of their ways out has been cut off by this fire. They're going to have to go down this way over towards the northeast to get down towards Alicia Parkway. I'll just here put our map tracker up there for you again and show you the wider area that we're talking about. So the folks that are on Sariana Lane, Novacella over here, they 5 or 10 minutes ago, they may have been able to evacuate along Vista Montemar, but not anymore. That area has now been completely overtaken by the smoke. And, not seeing a lot of ground crews. Here we see one, brave fire engine down there underneath the smoke. But I don't know what one engine is going to be able to do when the flames are like this. We did see a little bit of fire retardant that was dropped right here along the hillside. So they have at least one of the air tankers. There you see that orange hue right there, trying to kind of surround the fire and cut off some of its areas where it can climb up along the hillside. But they make one or two of these drops, and then they have to go back and get more fire retardant. Some of these planes have to go really far, so the time between the drops can be such a long time that the fire, will have spread considerably by then. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like they were able to get any fire retardant up here, and just very concerned for these nice homes up here on Vista Montemar in Laguna Niguel. Copy. Okay. Copy. Well, I see a couple of air tankers that look like they're getting ready to come. Should be coming into our shot right now. Let's see if they're going to be dropping any of the water, or rather fire retardant here along the hillside. Sometimes they come in and they do these circles. They kind of almost do like a practice run before they actually drop the fire retardant on the hillside. So let's see if, nope, this is an active one right here. So you see how they try to connect those lines, and they basically draw, lines that all connect all along the hillside. So that as it falls will hopefully connect with this line. And the idea is just to kind of slowly surround the fire. But unfortunately, as the fire has kind of beaten the fire retardant here over Vista Montemar, and now looks like it's trying to cross into this canyon. Now, fire doesn't burn nearly as well downhill as it does uphill, so if it's going to get into this neighborhood over here on Anamonte, it'll have to go down and then come back up again. And here we see, a fire engine that we had seen earlier under the smoke. They may just be going door to door and just seeing if they can get inside and just yell and make sure that, no one was sleeping or anything like that, and make sure that everyone is out of these neighborhoods. We saw them racing up and down the street earlier, and hopefully the reason why we haven't seen so many cars is because people either got out or they're not home at this point, because one of the escape routes here off of Pacific Island Drive, we'll put the map viewer, the map tracker up here again and show you how that has basically been cut off as an escape route. And the other route down in this area, there's another fire retardant drop. This is a gated community, so if folks were trying to come down Vista Monte to get through there, that could definitely be an issue for them. I have not seen any homes actually burning, but we saw through the smoke for the second, it looked like the front yard of one of these homes was burning. And obviously my hope is just that these homes are new enough that they're built with some sort of, fire resistant materials. I know that a lot of new construction homes, I believe it's a mandate if you're going to build in some of these areas, the wildlife interface or whatever they call it, that you have to use fire retardant materials for this reason. So we'll just have to hold our breath until the smoke clears to see what is left in this neighborhood off of Vista Montemar in Laguna Niguel. Yeah, let's go all the way around. Yes. 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 Yeah, the wide street here with the median there with the palm trees, that is Pacific Island Drive. And so that was one of the evacuation orders that Juan was just talking about. But you see people actually driving through on Pacific Island Drive right now. Now, again, we're just kind of trying to go around to see if we can see all of the angles of this fire. But you see a lot of people driving into this, and it's hard to tell how close the flames actually are to this street, and I'm just wondering if the authorities are going to shut this street down at one point as the fire begins to move to the north and into the vicinity of Pacific Island Drive, which does look like a decent evacuation point. But you're talking about those tile roofs, and yeah, most of them, Juan, it does look like this one right here in the center, but then you see one over here that looks like it just kind of has that doesn't have, yeah, it looks like just kind of a typical, shingle style roof, maybe older homes. So those are the homes that are definitely the most vulnerable right now. Just left. Okay. Okay. I'm in the skid. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. We're sorry. We were just in a turn here. We're taking a look. I mean, look how thick the smoke is here on Pacific Island Drive. I can't see any active flame there right now. So here's the flame that we're talking here is still kind of, this is over off of Aliso Summit Trail that is kind of creeping up along the ridge side. And just look at those palm trees, how gusty they are, blowing in the direction of the homes. And that's part of it is that, the offshore winds that Alex was talking about, and then also when fires, especially in canyons like this, they almost create their own weather and are almost able to like kind of power themselves in a way. And it looks like that's what we're dealing with. So we'll come along back to the side where we were. There's so much is obscured by smoke at this point. If there's any good news, that water treatment facility that we were looking at down here in the canyon, well, we'll have to get a different vantage point. But last I checked, firefighters had done a really good job of stopping the flames around that. Okay. Oh, the DC-10. Copy. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Okay, I was actually going to put this. I was going to put the satellite overlay on that could show all of that as well. So I'll call for the earlier flames though. Okay, copy. Why don't I hear? Standing by. Yeah, this is Laguna Niguel up here in the hills. Laguna Hills is actually a little bit closer to the 5 freeway. This is closer to the 73 toll road, and the area that we've been showing you that we've been so concerned about is Vista Montemar and Vista Court. This area right here, there you see one of the air tankers that's been doing such a good job with the fire retardant going through the shot, and now some of the smoke is clearing. We're trying to get a view of these homes and see how well they fared. Now this home you can actually see may have been covered in fire retardant and looks like it has been built with some fire retardant materials, but as the flames begin to clear there, it looks like that home should hopefully survive. Now, we can show you earlier when we saw some really intense flames earlier, this fast-moving fire that really blew up. At first we had heard it was only about 3 acres when it was deeper in the canyon, but you have very steep hills, really thick brush, and an onshore flow. Even though it's not hot today, it was just really too ripe of conditions for this fire to not spread so quickly. Now, let me widen out and show you our satellite view, and we can show you through the smoke the area that we're looking at, and you can see that this is, look at how steep and brushy are, and right up here is this neighborhood that is severely under threat right now. So we've been seeing this primarily being fought from the air with some firefighters on the ground going door to door, making sure that nobody is home. These areas definitely under an evacuation order. Lots of different streets here up at the top of this ridge line off of Laguna Niguel. So we're starting to see the flames clear, and hopefully we're going to see all of these homes survive, but an extremely dangerous and fast-moving fire here in Laguna Niguel. Pat and Jeff. Okay. I'm sorry. I need you to repeat that, Pat. Oh no. Yeah, well, we saw those hikers, Pat, but look at now we have found a home that is burning here, right as we peer through the smoke. And even though it kind of looked like it had one of those tile roofs that should be pretty fire resistant, it looks like it's getting overwhelmed by the flames here. So we're having to kind of do some camera trickery to show you this, zoom in all the way. But you can see how the direction of the fire and the smoke, and look at those palm trees blowing there in the wind. It's just fanning the flames towards all of these homes at the top of the ridgeline. So we can see right there at least one home burning. Let's look at these flames over here. That looks like it may just be a palm tree that's burning, but just so dangerously close. A lot of the fire has burned out here as it got to the top of this ridge line. It looks like that little hiking trail worked as a really good fire break, but we have at least one home that we can confirm is burning here, and we will try to get you a street address for you shortly, Pat and Jeff. Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like that our map tracker is telling us that was on Aliso Canyon Trail and Vista Court where that was burning. Now here we see an ambulance going through the area, and if this is just precautionary or what if maybe they're helping with evacuations, talking over a loudspeaker, or perhaps someone suffered smoke inhalation, unclear at this point. But we just obviously hope that everyone was able to get out, or everyone was already out if they were at work today or what. But now the smoke kind of obscuring our view. So far, we only saw that one home burning. And actually, as I got another look at that home, Pat and Jeff, it looked like it did have one of those older style, kind of typical shingle style roofs. So maybe an older home. My understanding is that newer construction homes in these types of areas have to be built with a fire-resistant roof, and it did not look like that home had it. It may have just been, an older property. So we'll come back around to the north side and see if we can see any other homes on fire. And you can see these homes here, they were under pretty serious threat. Now there's no flames around them. So it looks like perhaps these homes were built with that higher construction, that higher fire standard. But just a few doors down to the south on Aliso Summit Trail, one home is definitely burning right now. Oh, another one. Oh. There's another one. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we do, Pat. It's just 2 doors down. Yeah, we may even have 3. I can see right here in the shot, you can see the 2 on the ends are both on fire. And just behind it on the other side of Coronado Point and Vista Montemar, I can't tell if that's the roof or if that's some landscaping that's on fire. It's really difficult to get this shot right now just with all of the smoke obscuring everything. We're kind of trying some different camera settings to bring this to you, but there you could see that one that we showed you. And so now we have at least 2, possibly 3 homes on fire. Oh boy. This is a 4th home now that we're talking about, and when you look at these homes, they do look to be a little bit older. Although you know, it looks like this one that's burning does have a tile roof, but maybe it's the side of the home that the fire managed to find a vulnerable spot. But you see under, it's hard to see again with the smoke, but this one that's just now catching fire, this would be the 4th home, and it looks like it could have been some embers that got under the eaves. You look right under the bottom of the roof there, and you can see that little bit of active flame that appears to have penetrated this home. And we'll just have to see how far it goes, if it burns down the entire home or what. But despite all the best efforts with the fire retardant and all of the water dropping helicopters, we have at least 3, possibly 4 homes on fire. Yeah, there are a handful of firefighters now down here on the ground trying to put out. Here, we'll just pull out for a second because the shot is getting pretty bad. But as we have a big plume of smoke that comes over the top, there is a handful of ground crews down there that are trying to put out one of the house fires right there. Let's zoom in. This might be another one, another new one right here. I don't think I saw this one burning earlier. This one also on Aliso Summit. So Aliso Summit and Vista Court, there's 4, possibly 5 homes that are burning right now. The roofs of these different homes right here. So I'm sure they're going to be trying to get more of those hose lines here up to the scene. More of these ground crews as the smoke begins to clear out a little bit, and maybe they can get some water drops or some fire retardant drops on this neighborhood. But it's really tough for them as well with all of the smoke and the topography you're talking about. And look at this home right here. It really looks like, unfortunately, it could be a total loss. This was the first home that we saw catch on fire, and now it's really beginning to spread to the interior of the home. Yeah, absolutely. We were over at Astoria in Long Beach, and were unaware of how large the fire was until we looked to the south and just saw this huge, what almost looked like a mushroom cloud of smoke. And my heart sank knowing that we were probably going to be in for a long fire night here. And indeed, we are. Despite all of the efforts from firefighters, 4, possibly 5 homes burning. It took off so quickly. It was just, unfortunately, the perfect storm for a fire to take off from the bottom of a steep canyon, steep, brushy hillsides, and that onshore flow from the ocean. Just everything working against firefighters today. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's go back north, or where you were, just Chris. Yeah, so Vista Montemar looked like it went over and connected with Pacific Island Drive if you would have gone to the kind of southeast, but then that was where the flames were beginning to travel and creep, so then people would have to go to the north to get around that. But then that neighborhood was a gated community, so I'm not even sure if people would have been able to get through that area. We just have not seen a lot of cars on this, so I'm just hoping that more people, got out before we got to the scene. But look, and here's another home that is beginning to go up, and it's almost like it's hopping from home to home. This one that we've been showing you, this it was almost. I took the camera off this home for less than a minute and came back, and the whole home was engulfed in flames. You can see once it works its way through the roof, it just chews through the home itself so quickly. And now, just when it was looking like maybe we were going to be out of the woods, look at all of that thick black smoke we're seeing as we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 homes that are burning. And some of them are so, it looks like they could be a total loss. And for the firefighters, it's almost like they may have to play a triage game. That one that I showed you, they're not going to be able to save this. So now it moves to trying to prevent the flames from spreading to other ones. And look at this home right here. This home was just fine a couple of moments ago. Now its roof is also beginning to catch fire. So I count at least 6 homes that are burning here along Aliso Summit. And our map tracker is saying Aliso Summit Trail. Correct, yeah, and yeah, go. Oh, okay, Coronado Pointe, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, copy. Yeah. Oh. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, it sure is, Jeff, and it may be obscured by smoke as well, but I think over here on Loveview I saw a home that was, yes, here it is right here, that was on fire as well. So you just have embers whipping through the air that are spreading now deeper into the neighborhood. It's not just homes on Coronado Pointe that are burning. And earlier we were saying Aliso Summit Trail, but it's a Coronado Pointe. We could see here through our map tracker. There you see one of the large air tankers. I believe that's the DC-10 that has come in. So now as homes are beginning to burn, they're really throwing all of the resources at this, and they're going to start dropping more of that fire retardant into the neighborhoods to try to contain this fire. But just within the last 10 minutes, it has really blown up, and it's almost spreading from house to house. Homes that were just fine 2 or 3 minutes ago are now starting to see flames chew through the roof and into the interior of these homes. This home, I don't think this one was even burning about 5 minutes ago, and it may just be that the flames are so hot from this fire right here that it spreads to this one over here. Firefighters are overwhelmed. It's hard for them to, they just kind of have to pick a home that they think that they'll be able to save, as another home right next to it is unsavable. And the flames now spreading off of this first street, and even to some of these homes that we thought were may have had, this one we were talking about, we thought that it was built, with fire retardant technology, really fire resistant materials, but you can see the front of this house is burning. Copy. Okay, copy. Okay, let's yeah, let's focus on this one right here. I'm just gonna focus on, yeah, that's on this copy. Wow, okay. Let's go back south just for a second to get it for, just for, thanks. That's a good shot here. That's a good shot right here. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is on the south side of Coronado Point, and it's just surreal. I mean, we saw the home next door that was looking like it was going to be a total loss, and then we saw there was just one, little speck of fire on the very top of this roof, which did not have the tile, and then you saw, look at how the fire just chewed right through that, and in 10 minutes now it is beginning to gut this mansion here with ocean views. Like you said, this could be a $10 million home here, Jeff. It's almost this whole row of homes. It's just spread from one home to the next, and you see the way that the flames are blowing to the east. This is the other major problem, is now you have all of these embers that are blowing directly into other neighborhoods. And just going to widen out and show you, I mean, look, the wider fire on the hillside is out. It's basically out at this point, and now it's just these homes at the very top that is burning and is overwhelming firefighters. And I just don't think that they can get enough water on these homes. There you see some debris. Part of the roof looks like it's beginning to collapse at this home on Coronado Point. So we'll just continue to go up and down. But these homes here on the end, I thought that they were going to survive. There was one over on, I believe it was the one that Michelle was just looking at. Yeah, this large one right here, I was remarking on, it looked like it was made of good fire-resistant material and it was going to escape all of this, but sadly not the case. Now fire spreading all throughout this mansion on the other side of Coronado Point. Stand by. Yeah, this looks like the other side of Coronado Point, between Coronado Point and La Vue, VUE. Well, here, let's just put it up on the map tracker and show everyone right here. So this is the opposite side of Coronado Point. So now, we're going one street in and even 3 streets in. Here is on La Vue, the third street from the edge there, and you see how the flames are just almost methodically jumping from one home to another right here.
We're just trying to get as much as they can, these roofs dry, wet, those that are dry, trying to make sure that the embers don't fly over from roof to roof and cause multiple home damages. So I could just say that the firefighter out here is really doing the best they can to protect property. From my view, I did not see any others. Down the hill from where I was, though, that's where I saw a little bit of flames coming uphill, and there are several properties up in this area, so this is the only one I've seen, but there is definitely a lot of potential for many of these homes maybe to catch an ember, so that's why it's really important for fire to be hitting up as many properties as they can, get water on them, and prevent the spread of the fire to multiple properties. And as far as where my location is, I am I believe Levue. I'm up here and around Levue and Clubhouse. Let's say over here in the other area, I got some water on me from the. Let me wipe this down here. Got some water sprayed on me from fire hitting up this home here with some. Up a bit this way here is a gated community, and then you get to the top of the summit a little bit off that way. So I am quite near. Maybe I will begin to move my way little by little towards that area. But just on the way, I'm just seeing things like this, and it's very, really sad to see. I can show you some of these other properties. They look okay. They look like there's definitely a lot of smoke and embers still kicking around, but as of now, and occasionally you'll see a bush on fire. Maybe you'll see one of these palms on fire here. As you can see, you'll get smoke coming from some of these palms here. But I've not, at least from my vantage point, seen other properties on this street. I will make my way down this street and check the other properties. But as of now, they look to be okay. Yes. Yeah, so what I'll see is kind of where the heavy smoke is. I'll definitely see more activity as far as fire goes, and I'll see the fire dedicated to the heavy smoked areas, and the areas that are a little bit further from that, that's where I'll see deputies and law enforcement urging people just to flee this area as quickly as they can. So there's definitely fire and law enforcement just really trying to get people out of here. Fire trying to get the water on the homes, and law enforcement urging people just to get what they can as fast as they can and to leave these areas. When I first got here, that first shot I showed you down the hill, when I got here initially, unfortunately I wasn't have a picture up in time to show you, but there was law enforcement getting one resident telling them, hurry, hurry.
Hard out, Chris. 610. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it really is, and it's just everything working against firefighters. This was just the perfect storm situation. You know, like Alex was saying, this is not usually, we're used to these types of things happening during a big Santa Ana wind event, you know, in areas with really dry brush. We didn't have that today. It was just a kind of a, you know, an above average kind of onshore breeze, and we saw how green the brush was, but with the topography and it being so thick, it just everything conspired to, yes, go ahead, Pat. Oh, no. Oh. It happens so quickly, and again, even without really powerful winds or without really hot days, you know, all it takes is that brush and that kind of steep canyon for a fire to really take off. And even when folks have good brush clearance, even if they have homes built of fire resistant materials, they're just getting overwhelmed. It's just so gut wrenching to see. And we can actually, you know, show you that one woman that Michelle was just talking to here. Here's Coronado Pointe, and we have some address numbers. So she was at 32. Now that's obscured by the smoke, but you know, it looks like right now that home is not burning, but you see these incredibly intense flames right here across the street, and you see the flames there as they whip around to the east, just like they're trying to reach out across the street and you know, hit another home. And we've already seen homes burn 2 or 3 streets over on La View. When we see the smoke clear, we'll be able to show you that as well. So it's, you know, unfortunately not just the homes here right up immediately against the hillside. And this is one of the fastest moving fires from home to home that I've ever seen, Pat. No. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm not sure we'll be able to see it, but okay. Let's kind of come to the north side for now, Chris. Yes. Yes, here, I'll take the addresses down for a second, but here you see Coronado Pointe, La Vue, La Prit, I guess you would call that. And the fire has spread at least 3 streets deep, and I know that that poor woman that Michelle was talking to her is just beside herself with her cat. We can just show the address overlay really quickly, and this is 32 right here. This was the one that she said was her home, and I don't see any active flames there yet. So that's hopefully that will continue to be the case. But, for firefighters, they're almost kind of splitting their resources, in a very defensive posture here, trying to obviously prevent the flames from spreading across the street, but then also having to use some of the hose lines to douse some of those homes across the street to make sure that they don't go up in flames. And then they're also shooting their hose lines into the wind. So you're watching, some of the water actually blow back off of the fire because it's fighting the wind, and you can see the way that the wind is blowing there from the palm trees in the shot. So it's just amazingly difficult for Orange County Fire out here this afternoon. And as we're talking about, perhaps at least a dozen homes burning, and more may still be catching fire. Yeah, so right. So yeah, Aliso Canyon Trail. That's the little fire road right here, which we were hoping was going to do a really good job of preventing the flames from spreading. But then we saw one home catch fire, and then two, and then three, and it almost just kind of crept down the line. Even though the wind is blowing to the east, it kind of the flames seem to spread from north to south, and it skipped these two homes. Right here, we'll see if they're able to survive, and then it hit this one, and it was just crazy how the fire seemed to hop around like that. And it all started with one little tiny speck of flame on the top of the roof of this home, which was not covered in tile. And look what happened. It crept all the way through. Fire is so pernicious in that way that it almost seems like it can find a weakness for a home and then find its way into a home that way, and then it just completely chew through a home. Just absolutely devastating. Copy. All right. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.